Hi everyone, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for Monday the 8th of April going through until Sunday the 14th of April. Now you guys know the drill, you know how I'm going to do this horoscope. What I want to talk about first of all is that I underestimated the strength and the brutality of the new moon in Aries that happened last week. It was so hardcore and it caused people so many problems and it was so intense, and I really didn't see it coming. Mars is the male principle, so it's associated with everything masculine, so it can be the builder or the father, but it can also be the aggressor, the guy who's doing the punching and attacking. Aries is the same thing. It's the ram, it's the first sign of the zodiac, and it can be seen as lovely as this force that helps you progress and move forward, and that allows you to have the confidence to start new businesses and to look to the future and to be passionate, and it overcomes obstacles. But sometimes it just so happens that you're one of the obstacles that's being rammed over, and you feel totally like a tank has just rolled over you and you feel like you've been hit by a bus. And that's what the new moon in Mars was for me personally. I had terrible news about a project I've been working on for a long time, and it was just brutally finished, and it was said, no, that's it, bye bye, get lost, screw you, we're done, finished, over. And a lot of people I've spoken to have said, you know, Gregory, I think you underestimated this energy a little bit, because today was really, really tough. So my apologies for that. First of all, I try and analyze the symbols as best I can, and then I listen to my intuition and what it tells me about that energy. And I really didn't see how militaristic, how intense, how brutal, how aggressive, and how just plain angry this new moon in Aries really was. Now let's have a look at this week and see what's coming up. Monday the 8th of April, the moon moves into Gemini at 9:16 in the evening. So the moon is how you feel. Gemini is about trying different things, communicating, thinking clearly, walking through different doorways of opportunity, being curious, learning, and connecting with other people. The Gemini moon also sextiles Chiron in Aries. Chiron is one of the centaurs. It's the wounded healer. It's, in mythology, it was the centaur that taught medicine to the other gods, and in the end he sacrificed his own life for someone else's. So that's in Aries, which means that you may start the week dealing with some information that comes in. It can either be problematic or it can be positive. But what we do know is that something comes in. If it is problematic, you can resolve it by facing it head on. Don't bury your head in the sand. If it's a positive bit of news, then welcome it and embrace it with open arms. If you get a letter from the tax man and it says, we overcharged you last year, here you go, here's a refund of a couple of hundred, then wonderful. Yeah, don't say no to that. If it's something negative, like if it's the bailiffs knocking on your door, then that's negative. So the important thing is to keep your cool. This isn't life or death. It's something that you can deal with. If you face it head on, you can sort the situation, you can resolve it, and it's a lesson in staying calm and realizing this too will pass, and don't let yourself become overly frazzled. You know, like these negative things, when they suddenly come in and surprise us, our central nervous system, when you meditate, you notice that sometimes you'll twitch, and every twitch is like a release of a stressor that happened in your life, and these kind of things are stressors. really negative information that comes in that you're suddenly faced with and you have to deal with, that's a stressor. It sits in your nervous system. So make sure you remember, just keep your cool. And if you want to let go of it at the end of the day, meditate or take a bath, take care of yourself, and just whew. Tuesday the 9th of April, we've got the moon in Gemini, so still communicative and curious and optimistic. It conjuncts Mars, the male planet, which is in Gemini. So you're really focused on communication. And because of Mars, and because it's been so harsh, it may be quite direct communication. Maybe you'll be saying things that are incredibly direct. The other person will be hurt by those, or maybe you're the recipient of that information. Venus, the planet of love and beauty, is in Pisces, which is really the opposite of Mars and Gemini, because Venus in Pisces is so self-sacrificing, it's so gentle, it's so soft. It's like a bleeding heart almost. It's just like, I just love you so much. So maybe it's because we have this huge juxtaposition of energies that things have been clashing so profoundly. So Venus in Pisces conjunct, it sits right on top of Neptune in Pisces. So Venus is the personal planet of love and beauty, and Neptune is the outer planet, and it's love on a global scale. So it's the higher octave of Venus. So those two really create a wonderful sense of love and romance, and I am not the center of the universe. It is my responsibility and is my role to love and take care of other people. The Gemini moon squares Venus and Neptune in Mars. The Gemini moon squares Venus and Neptune in Pisces. So the communication sector of what you're feeling has a square, so there's friction between Venus and Neptune. So it's not all lovey-dovey. It's like, I'm communicating here, and keep all of that lovey-dovey stuff to yourself. I've got something to say. So on Tuesday, you may be a little bit frustrated because of the juxtaposition between really being crystal clear and direct, and having this urge to also just be in this cloud of fantasy and love and beauty. And what that results in is that you don't exactly know what's going on. And things seem to be out of your control, which often is frustrating in itself, especially for control freaks who need to feel like they're on top of everything all the time. So Tuesday is not going to be that easy when it comes to controlling things. It's much easier to let things go and to let things be. Today isn't the day, Tuesday, to point the finger and to blame other people for things that you feel have been done to you, because you may as well go eeny, meeny, miny, mo, because you won't have an idea of who's done what or who's to blame for anything. So don't bother with that. The way to deal with a feeling of being ill at ease isn't to take it out on other people, but just to try and nurture and to take care of yourself and to practice good self-care. So do something you like. If you're on this super strict diet and your favorite food is a chocolate fudge brownie, then allow yourself a chocolate fudge brownie on this day. If taking a bath really soothes you and relaxes you, then do that. The best way forward on Tuesday is to listen to your gut and to let yourself be guided, rather than trying to logically analyze everything, because with Venus and Neptune in Pisces, there's kind of a fog in the air, and you're not going to be able to decipher everything. Just go with your gut, go with your feelings. It's all Pisces, water, so you can't really go wrong if you go with your intuition and your instincts. On Wednesday the 10th, Jupiter, the lucky planet, goes retrograde until it goes direct again in August. Now Jupiter is an outer planet, and we don't really pay so much attention to the outer planets going retrograde because they spend months in retrograde. Like Jupiter is in retrograde for 4 months here, Neptune goes retrograde for 6 months or 9 months. It's the days that they go retrograde are important. It's not so much about them being in retrograde or not. So when Jupiter is in retrograde, it does mean that we don't experience any good luck, because it is the planet of good luck and good fortune. But on the day, you may feel it. And when Jupiter goes retrograde, the good luck kind of changes from being external and it changes to being internal. So the good luck, the good ideas come from within inside of you, rather than external circumstances suddenly opening up and it's like, oh, woohoo, let's go there. This has been offered to me. So listen to yourself more from Wednesday onwards, because the good fortune and the good luck and positivity will come from within. The moon is still in Gemini, and it makes a connection with pretty much every other planet in the sky. So it's completely bombarded with information. Gemini likes information, so it's not completely crushed by it, but it's really strained by really being connected with every energy you could imagine. The sun is in Aries. The sun is your identity, remember, and that's that forcefulness, that drive. And that faces Saturn in Capricorn via a square. So they face off. The sun in Aries is, I move forward, I bombard obstacles with my willpower so that they crumble to dust and I move forward. And Saturn is the astrological head teacher. It's the planet that says, these are the rules, this is what you're doing with your life, this is what you're working on, and you don't argue with me. You're not going to bulldoze my obstacles. I am the obstacle. You can bulldoze as much as you want, but I'm staying put. So we've got some major friction here on Wednesday. First of all, there's information overload. And through all of this chaos with the information, you'll learn an important life lesson that allows you to create structure within yourself when everything is going topsy-turvy on the outside. So that's the Jupiter going retrograde. The good luck is that you find a way of really anchoring yourself and staying calm and being, when everything else is just out of your control and things are just going left and right and people are shouting and running, and you're able to kind of build that sense of, I'm anchored within myself and therefore everything is okay. So Jupiter couldn't go retrograde on a better day. And that's the good luck that you experience. So you really learn a major life lesson here on Wednesday, which is to keep your calm and to keep your cool even in challenging situations, and that's going to serve you in the future. Thursday the 11th of April, the moon goes into Cancer. So we've had it in Gemini all week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So Gemini communication, air, masculine element as well. So kind of tough the first 3 days. Now, Thursday the 11th, it goes into the element of water, which is a feminine element, Cancer, at 3:32 in the morning. The Cancer moon then forms a harmonious relationship with Uranus in Taurus. Uranus is the planet of the unexpected and rebellion, and who knows what's going to happen. In Taurus, it's in the physical realm, which is also a feminine element, Earth. Now the moon in Cancer also squares Chiron and Jupiter in Sagittarius. So on Thursday the 11th, there's again major conflict about, do I care for myself, or do I stay put and nurture myself and try and sort out everything and just be anchored and calm within myself, or do I just throw everything up in the air and go traveling and just leave all of this behind and just be done with it? On Thursday you will have that feeling of, do you know what, screw this, screw everything, it's just too much, I want to get out of here. So despite that, you feel unable to move forward because your circumstances are all over the place and you really don't have any clarity. So again, self-care is super, super essential, and don't load extra stress on yourself by criticizing yourself and saying, look at the mess you've made, look at how crap everything is in your life, look at how incompetent you've been. Because when situations are negative or challenging or difficult, that's bad enough. But what makes it even worse is when our head kicks in and it blames us for the things that are going on. No one's to blame here. Life is just happening. There's a lot of energy floating around. It's no one's fault. No one's to blame. So don't start to tell yourself a story about how unorganized you are and how this is all your fault and yeah, how incapable you are. So don't do that. Take care of yourself. Nurture yourself the way you would a child who doesn't understand something that's being taught at school and is distressed about it. That's how you need to treat yourself today. You don't quite get it. You feel threatened by everything. Things are kind of going over your head and it's just like, whoa, hang on a minute, I can't deal with all of this. So, big breath and go back to the basics. Have a cup of tea or make yourself a hot chocolate. Ground yourself by walking in nature, by doing your yoga, by doing whatever makes you feel calm and secure and cozy and warm and held. On Friday the 12th, Venus in Pisces sextiles Saturn in Capricorn, so we've got a harmonious relationship between the planet of love and this serious head teacher. So there's no friction here. There's hello. Hello, strict headmaster. How are you doing today? I love you. You're looking fabulous today. Mercury is in Pisces, so the communication planet is very much about the emotions and spirituality. That squares Jupiter in Sagittarius. So friction between, do I feel my feelings and stay in the here and now, or do I run off and go explore? The Cancer moon opposes Saturn in Capricorn. So the moon in Cancer makes you feel very nurturing, family oriented, creative, focused on being with the ones you love, being spiritual, and being self-sacrificing in a way. And when it opposes Saturn in Capricorn and Pluto in Capricorn, it doesn't want anything to do with changing your circumstances. What you want to do is you want to feel your feelings and be allowed to do that in a positive, loving way. And you don't really want to change your whole life around. And you feel, again, the threat that something is going to force you to make changes that you really don't want to make. So the moon opposes those two, Saturn and Pluto, and it squares the sun in Aries. So a square is also friction. The sun in Aries says go, and the Cancer moon says stay. So Friday is interesting because out of all of this chaotic energy, a loving presence is going to emerge that gives you a new direction and it gives you hope for the future, and it's a light at the end of the tunnel. You see a way forward. If this loving presence comes into your life in the shape of a person, a human being, then make sure you really consider this person as a potential romantic partner. Because out of this kind of mud, a lotus flower will appear in a pond. It has to fight its way through the chaos to get to the surface, and once it's at the surface, it's absolutely glorious. So if you do meet a person on Friday the 12th, you're going to meet a lotus flower person. So Friday is the first day of the week where you really feel like you can get back up and start to progress again, rather than being the person who is receiving everything and dealing with everything, and it's like, okay, this is being thrown at me, this is being thrown at me, this is being thrown at me, I'm staying put, I'm dealing with it. Now you see a way forward again, and I'm leaving things behind, and now I can actually move forward again. So Friday really is a turning point in the week. So at least we have a major shift here on the weekend, so the weekend looks better. Let's see what Saturday and Sunday are like. On Saturday, the moon moves into Leo at 7:51 in the morning, so that's good news. The way you feel in Leo is fired up and confident and fun. You're charismatic, you like being with children and enjoying yourself, and you enjoy the spotlight, you enjoy a bit of attention. It can also be too much, so I'm being really careful here to look at the negatives as well because of last week. The negatives of Leo can be that you're incredibly arrogant and you come across as a total plonker who thinks, I know it all, and look at you little people down there. It can come across as that. Even though you're just enjoying yourself and you're confident you're having a good time, some people may think, God, what a tosser. So the sun in Aries adds to that because it's fire. So you've got the sun, your identity in Aries, which is about I want, I need, I progress. The moon now, the way you feel, is in Leo, fire. I'm confident, I'm in the spotlight, I'm able to speak publicly and people will listen to me and it's fun and I have charisma. And the sun in Aries squares Pluto in Capricorn, so there's friction between the transformation planet in the sign of the worker. So I'm being forced to change again the way I do things and I don't really want to. The Leo moon sextiles Mars in Gemini, so there's a happy relationship between the moon and the male principle, which says I want to learn and I want to communicate. It trines Chiron in Aries, so more happy friendships. And it squares Uranus, the planet of rebellion and chaos, in Taurus. So again, there's a lot going on, so keep things simple and don't make major plans to transform your circumstances on Saturday. Also, keep your kind of cards close to your chest. If you give out a lot of information about yourself and what you're doing and who you are, you could be around people who may use that against you. So on Saturday, you're kind of vulnerable, okay? Because you're rather innocent and naive in your Leo fun mode, and you think everyone else is in Leo fun mode, but they're not. And some people may notice that you're kind of vulnerable and that you've had a bit of a frazzling week, and they may try and take advantage of that by kicking you when you're down. You know, that always happens. You know, when you're in when you've had a terrible situation happen and you talk about it to a lot of people and you spread that energy around, often one of those people will create a problem for you that either brings it all back, or that you have to relive it, or the authorities get involved, or some extra problem appears just because you spread that negative energy around. Do you see what I mean? So you had a lot to deal with this week. Don't make it worse by being like, using it like Nutella on a piece of toast and spreading it all over your piece of toast and slathering it in chocolatey goodness and really taking a mud bath in your emotional pain. This is not the day to throw a pity party for yourself, because if you do, some people are going to be sympathetic and some people really aren't going to be sympathetic. And usually when you do throw a pity party for yourself, people say, come on, snap out of it. It's not that bad. You know, there are things you should be grateful for. Make a gratitude list. You still got a house, you still got somewhere to live, you're not starving, you still got your job and your family. You know, let's get real here, let's get a grip and take a breath. But some people will listen to everything that you're saying, and they may have a connection to your boss, and they may go to the boss and say, do you know what, one of your employees was at this restaurant yesterday where I was, and they were really bitching about your working conditions in the office. And her name is Martha Stewart. And I was there and I heard it firsthand, and I really think you should do something about that, because Martha was really slagging off your business, and I don't think that's good for your company. So that could happen. That wouldn't serve you. That would create more problems. So try and zip it on Saturday, and keep things simple, and try and have fun. Try and do something fun for yourself again. Self-care, but be around people you trust on Saturday, and enjoy yourself, and really say, do you know what, the week is over. On Friday we had that turning point. There has been a light at the end of the tunnel. You know what direction you're going in. So put that to bed. It's the weekend now. Fine. I know what direction I'm going to go in on Monday. Everything's gone back to normal. I will go in that direction on Monday. But now this weekend, I'm just going to have fun. I'm going to put things on hold a little bit. I'm going to leave the week behind me, and I'm going to enjoy myself. So Saturday, enjoy yourself. Go to Disneyland. Go to the local fair. Go to the beach and frolic in the sand. Or take the kids and do something fun. Go to I don't know. Go to climb trees and zip lining and all of that stuff if you're into doing practical active things. But keep things simple, keep it joyous, and anyone you distrust, don't go near them. Don't touch them with a barge pole. On Sunday, the 14th of April, finally, we've got the Sun in Aries and it trines Jupiter in Sagittarius. So now we have a really positive relationship between the Sun in Aries, saying let's go forward, and Jupiter, the good luck planet, in Sagittarius. So rather than being the obstacle that's being smashed to smithereens, you're now the ram moving forward and progressing. So we had a shift in energy on Friday, you turned a corner, but now on Sunday, we're not just turning the corner, it's a complete change of attitude and direction. You are now back in charge, things are fun, things are positive, you are empowered, and you're the boss. The Leo moon also trines Jupiter in Sagittarius and the Sun in Aries. So fire, 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 fire. But it's fire that's not being challenged. So it's not punchy and aggressive and attack mode. It's not forced to be a bully or to be harsh or to, well, at least I don't think so. I'm tuning in. Let me see. No, I'm seeing good times. I'm seeing fun. So on Sunday, finally, after this difficult week, a simple, straightforward, positive day of good luck, fun, friendship, socializing, and enjoying your good fortune. So spend the day enjoying yourself and letting go of the stress that you've had this week. And do whatever it is that de-stresses you. And this week, you are given a gift. Even though it doesn't sound like the best week ever, you're given a gift of being able to create a place of safety and foundation and being grounded within yourself, even when everything around you is chaotic. And that's invaluable. And that in itself is a connection with something bigger than yourself. You may not put it in those terms. You may just feel like, oh, I've grown as a person and I really feel more stable within myself. But that is a connection to your higher self, because that's where things like that come from. So it's spiritual progress, and ultimately at the end of the day, that's all we can do. Try and progress spiritually and try and do the best we can while we're here on planet Earth, and yeah, not harm anybody, and just try and live our lives to the best of our ability and try and fulfill some sort of meaningful desire that we have that makes us feel like I mattered. I do matter. My presence here on planet Earth means something to myself and other people, and that's all we can do. So kind of look at it from that perspective and keep things really simple and enjoy yourself when the energy is positive. Use it to your advantage and kind of buckle down and go through the difficult stuff when it's difficult. And you know, it can go either way on Monday, for instance. It can be really negative, or it can be, yeah, like a refund, or the news that you're being invited to a premiere, or you won a competition on the radio. It's going to be a surprise. And surprises, that's the nature of surprises. Sometimes they're good and sometimes they're bad. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful week. If you would like a personal reading with me, what I do in my personal readings is I use astrology, tarot, and numerology. And the astrology chart allows me to really see who you are. It gives me a blueprint of you as an individual, as a soul on this planet. And I draw that up by using your place of birth, your date of birth, and your time of birth. If you don't have your time of birth, then go to my website, gregoryscott.com, and click on special services and order a chart rectification. There's a process that I can do where you send me 10 life events, like major things that have affected you in life. You know, when you moved, when you graduated, when you had a child, when you were robbed, when big life events, and I can work out your time of birth. Once I have those three things, place, date, and time of birth, I draw up your chart, and that is a blueprint of your soul. And I can see what your life purpose is, what your vocational aptitudes are, what your strengths and weaknesses are, what you kind of have to contend with, where you're naturally gifted and supported by the universe, because all of us in some area of our lives, things just work. And we don't need to do anything, and that's where we're blessed. It shows me what's coming up for you in finances and love and health, travel, personal development, spiritual development, hopes and dreams. I can answer any questions you may have. The thing about astrology is that in the East, people believe that our destiny is written on our forehead and that's it. You have to walk the path of your destiny, right? In the West, we believe that we create our own destiny. We manifest things, you know, The Secret. I choose to work as a plumber, not as an electrician. I am the master of my own destiny. So we in the West really believe that nothing's written on our forehead and that I create the life that I want. And astrology is in the middle of those two things. It does show me what's kind of destined for you in love and romance and career and money and fame and wealth. But it also shows me what's destined, but also what you can do about that to change your destiny. So it's the perfect tool to really look at what your natural aptitudes are in all areas of your life and how you can build on those and make the most out of what you've got. And that's why astrology is so useful, because it really just says, this is where you are now, and these are the actions you can take to really thrive. The predictive astrology shows me what's coming up for you in future. So I look at your progress chart and your transits, and that shows me what's coming up for you in all areas of your life over the next couple of months and years. I can do a solar return chart, which is on your birthday. That's a fabulous thing to do because it shows today is what? Let's say Monday the 8th, okay? So if your birthday is on Monday the 8th and I do a solar return chart, then I see what's coming up for you from Monday the 8th, 2019 until the 8th of April 2020. And all I need to know is where you were on your birthday to be able to draw up that chart. Like where you spent your birthday, if you were in New York or in Panama or wherever. So get in touch via the website, it's gregoryscott.com, to order your reading. If you like these videos, please share them online so that other people can join the channel and be part of this. I love to see the channel grow, and if you share the videos, that's the only way the channel does grow, because I don't advertise. So if you want to help me out, then please do that. If you don't want to help me out, then don't, and unsubscribe. If you do like the videos, then subscribe, hit the subscribe button. You'll be notified of new videos coming out, and I do daily tarot readings for all signs of the zodiac, these weekly horoscopes for all signs of the zodiac, but I also do monthly horoscopes which are out for April for each specific sign of the zodiac. So Virgo, Sag, Scorpio. You can watch that for your sun sign first, then for your rising sign, and if you need even more information, watch the one for your moon sign. But 2 should be enough to watch it for your sun sign and your rising sign. And then I also have the yearly horoscopes for each specific sign of the zodiac. So those are all out. Have a look, see if anything is useful to you and gives you something to go on. That's what the point of this channel is, to give you information to make your life easier and to help you plan ahead. So yes, please hit the subscribe button. Have a wonderful, wonderful week, and I'll speak to you next week.